A very good evening to you all and welcome to our second and final edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV. This Tuesday, the 26th day of May 2026. But first, let's have a look at our top stories. In our top stories tonight, President Museveni releases new cabinet list. Oversight roles by parliamentary committees raised to restore public trust on performance and role play. Ebola virus disease confirmed cases raised to 7. And State House target 60 model farmers in efforts to promote fish farming in Busoga sub-region. Hello there and welcome once again. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcasting House here on Nile Avenue. On sign language it is Senyomo Yusuf and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Now President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, by virtue of the powers given to the President of Uganda, Article 1081 and to 108A1, 111(1), 113(1) and Article 114(1) of the 1995 Constitution of the Republic of Uganda has proposed names to be appointed as Vice President, Prime Minister, Cabinet Ministers and Ministers of State. Now this is the list. Honorable Jessica Rose Epel Alupo returns as the Vice President of Uganda. Right Honorable Robina Nabanja is the Prime Minister and leader of government business in Parliament. We've got a lot more that's coming on the list, but what you see on your screen right now, those are the new members that have been proposed by the President. We've also got Right Honorable First Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Community Affairs, Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga. Dr. Crispus Walter Kionga bounces as the Second Deputy Prime Minister and Deputy Leader of Government Business in Parliament. Lukia Nakadama bounces as the Third Deputy Prime Minister and Minister without a portfolio. Honorable Janet Kataha Museveni is Minister of Education and Sports according to the released list. Honorable Babidi Emilian Babalanda, Minister Office of the President in charge of the Presidency. Major General retired Jim Muhweze, Minister of Security. Honorable Engineer Asimo Jonad, Minister Office of the President in charge of Science, Technology and Innovation. Honorable Minister Kabanda, Minister for Kampala, Capital City and Metropolitan Affairs. Engineer Hilary Obalokero Nek, Minister Office of the Prime Minister in charge of General Duties. Justin Lumumba Kasley is the Government Chief Whip. Sam Angola, Minister for Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugees. Honorable Loki John Baptist, Minister for Karamoja Affairs. Honorable Frank Kajiji Tumwebaze, Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, while Dr. Sam Mayanja bounces as the Attorney General. Honorable Kiriowa Chiwanuka goes to the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs, whereas Dr. Monica Musenero is Minister of Energy and Mineral Development in the new cabinet list. Henry Ariganyira Musasizi, Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, whereas Adonia Ayebare, Minister of Foreign Affairs. Lieutenant General retired Henry Tumukunde, Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, whereas Honorable Dr. Chris Bariomusi goes to the Minister of Health as full Minister. General Sacheng, Minister of Information, Communications Technology and National Guidance. Ephraim Kamuntu, Minister of Internal Affairs. General Sacheng, Minister Honorable Norbert Mao is the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, whereas Judith Nalule Nabakova is Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. Honorable Dr. Balam Barugahare is Minister of Local Government, and Honorable General Edward Katumba Wamala, Minister of Public Service. Honorable Sanjay Tana, Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. Major General Kahindo Tafire, Minister of Water and Environment. Honorable Balam Barugahare already mentioned that he is the Minister of Local Government. And Honorable Byamukama Fred is Minister of Works and Transport in the new cabinet. On the list of the members of cabinet that have been proposed by the President, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and of course this is a new list that just came in about 2 hours ago, with new appointments and some other members bouncing back. We've also got this announcement. The Minister of Public Service informs the general public that Wednesday, the 27th of May 2026 is Eid al-Adha Festival of Sacrifice, and will be observed as a public holiday throughout Uganda. And this has been signed by Catherine Bitarakwate Musingwide, who is the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Public Service. Now, out of the 81 freshly appointed members of the cabinet, 31 are a combination of new and returning ministers. Now, these are meant to serve in the next cabinet from 2026 to 2031, and these will now face the Parliamentary Appointments Committee for approval. These are ministers that have been dropped in the new cabinet list 2026 to 2031. Those will not be there. Ruth Nankabirwa, Matia Kasaija have also been dropped in the new cabinet list of 2026 to 2031. Will not be seeing those faces in the new cabinet that has been released by His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. We've also got General JJ Odong and Betty Amongi. Those faces also won't be seen in the new cabinet of 2026 to 2031 as released by His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni earlier today. Also missing on the list is Raphael Majezi and Wilson Muruli Mukasa. Those have also been dropped from the new cabinet list of 2026 to 2031 cabinet ministers. The list is big. We've also got Francis Mwebesa and Sam Cheptoris. Those two faces also will not be on the cabinet chart of 2026 to 2031. The list has been released, the new list of cabinet members released earlier today by President Museveni. Musa Echweru and Peace Mutuzo also missing on that list of cabinet ministers to be at the helm of these different dockets between 2026 and 2031. Yes, Musa Echweru and Peace Mutuzo won't be on that list. We've also got Gidudu Mafwari and Jennifer Namuyangu. They've also not been included on the list of members of cabinet for 2026 and 2031. Also on the list, the faces that won't be there: Florence Nambozo and General David Muhoozi. They are not on the list as released by the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, earlier today. Florence Nambozo, David Muhoozi have been dropped. We've also got Godfrey Kabianga and Helen Adoa. Those are also faces that you'll not be seeing on the cabinet chart of the 2026-2031 ministers that will be at the helm of different dockets. Godfrey Kabianga not there, Helen Adoa. Okello Oryem also dropped. Evelyn Anite too has been dropped from that cabinet list. Will not be seeing those faces, and according to the list that has been released this evening, those faces won't be there. Also dropped John Mulimba and Frederick Guma Ngobi. Those faces won't be on the list of the ministers between 2026 and 2031. Also missing on the cabinet of 2026 to 2031 are Joyce Moriku Kaduchu and Victoria Rusoke. They'll not be on that list of cabinet members to serve this country between 2026 and 2031. Martin Mugara, the youthful state minister in wildlife and antiquities, has also been dropped. You won't be seeing that face on the new list of cabinet members between 2026 and 2031. Yes, those are some of the people or members of the previous cabinet that have been dropped by President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Now, the outgoing Prime Minister Robina Nabbanja has revealed that 78% of the resolutions of the 11th Parliament were implemented by government. Nabbanja, however, says the government is struggling with the continuity of the implementations, as some resolutions await a government response. Now, several lawmakers occasionally accuse the executive of delayed actions on the recommendations by Parliament, and which abuse of the integrity of Parliament.
The executive is required to respond to the resolutions, recommendations and directives of Parliament through presenting action taken reports to the members of Parliament within a period not exceeding 2 months. This idea is benchmarked on the principle of separation of powers, where Parliament remains independent of the executive. This ensures the interests of the electorates are fully represented. Legislators who served in the 11th Parliament show mixed reactions over the diminishing public trust in the institution.
But at times when those taken reports come, we don't give them enough time again to debate or to follow up and make sure that actually the work was done, or the resolutions were carried forward, or they were implemented. So I think the best way or the best approach is for the Speaker or the leadership of Parliament to make sure that whenever these action taken reports come back to Parliament, we also give them time on the order paper, we debate, or we listen to know that actually we made a resolution on this.
Some MPs think that the executive has no pressure from the House on accountability and actions taken on resolutions and directives.
Wherever you do the work, wherever we pass the resolutions for Parliament to implement for the executive, I'm telling you, no one follows. It's as if we just pass the resolution for the sake of it. After passing resolutions, no one cares to follow what is taking place. That is why the executives were taking us for granted. And I'm telling you, the 11th Parliament was as good as useless.
Tracking government compliance on directives is an oversight role by parliamentary committees. In the 11th Parliament, most former members say corruption blocked the move.
We were told that members of Parliament committee money had been put in one pool, controlled by the Speaker. And I want to tell you that that's why you saw the image of Parliament was deteriorating. Because the committees which were supposed to support the performance of speakers and this House were not doing their work. Only few MPs were flying. You find MPs who reach Entebbe, don't even go to their homes. They just send their beloved ones to bring them bags, and then again they're on board.
Let's do intensive forensic audit on travels. Let's publish names of members of Parliament who are getting hell of money on travels. There were people each quarter are getting 600 million, 400 million, 500 million.
Because that's majorly the role of the Speaker. It is for us, we come up with chairpersons of committees, the office of the Prime Minister through the government secretary. The person who gives them work to do is the Speaker. And so I would see some committees move, but there are those which, there are those committees that don't have an opportunity. And I think now that we have a new Speaker, we shall see how to improve.
Outgoing Prime Minister Robin Nabbanja says that 78% of the resolutions of the 11th Parliament were implemented, although government lags on continuity.
You know the processes. When we get these resolutions, we take them to Cabinet, through Cabinet, to the line ministries, then line ministries to Parliament. That has been the procedure. And that procedure to me is okay. And that's how actions are supposed to be taken. And so for me, I feel we did what we could. The performance was good, despite a few issues here and there.
So the oversight role is urgently needed.
And most of the work of Parliament is processed through the committees of Parliament. So you must allow the committees of Parliament to function effectively. You must allow the technical people. There are a number of technocrats in that Parliament who are knowledgeable to advise the politicians.
During the opening ceremony of the orientation of the members of the 12th Parliament, the Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa assured the members of improvement in budgeting and oversight roles.
Don't come to the office of the Speaker to ask for travel. We are going to put money for travel into your committees. I can give an example. In 10th Parliament, I traveled 4 times. I never went to the Speaker to ask for travel. It's my chairman of committee who would see that I merit it and I'm going to add value. And then he would put me on a list. So as presiding officers, we shall be clearing lists submitted by chairpersons.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
The President General of the Democratic Party, Norbert Mao, has dismissed claims that he was fronted by invisible forces to disrupt the speakership race. Mao maintains that his intention was to champion fresh leadership capable of restoring dignity and public trust in Parliament. He was addressing journalists at Parliament. Take a watch.
What Norbert Mao had hoped would be a successful bid for the speakership eventually turned in another direction. The speakership race for the 12th Parliament was won by the West Budama Central MP, Jacob Maxons Oboth, who secured 441 votes, defeating Paul Mwiru of the NUP with 60 votes, while Mao came third with 15 votes.
On behalf of the Democratic Party, I would like to congratulate the Honorable Jacob Maxon Oboth upon his election as the Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda. We will convey a formal letter to that effect.
Mao claims he has no regrets contesting for the speakership. He insists the new leadership must usher in reforms to restore order and credibility in Parliament.
I think we have demonstrated that Parliament is incapable of exercising oversight over itself. We are even proposing that the Commission should have somebody who is not a member of Parliament to sit in the Commission so that we have a hybrid process.
Mao says the fight against corruption, nepotism and institutional breakdown should top the agenda of the new parliamentary leadership.
Only an inquiry will be able to establish who got jobs wrongly without being qualified, while those who are qualified are being bypassed, those who are not qualified are being promoted. Nepotism was at its highest. A patronage system was set in place. I'm told many influential people got their children to get jobs in Parliament in exchange for their loyalty.
Mao also rejected allegations that his candidature was only intended to divert attention from the outgoing speaker, insisting that his bid was genuine and issue-based.
The goal was never to confuse. You're making it appear like there was some force behind me. I've heard that theory. But I answered that question one time at Balintuma Road. I said, there's no force. Some of you were saying, General Saleh is behind me, General MK is behind me. I told you that, leave them out of it. This is my battle based on what I believe.
Henry Okrut, UBC.
The Chief Justice, Dr. Flavian Zeja, has urged judicial officers to adopt alternative dispute resolution mechanism and promote timely justice delivery. This was during the Wakiso High Court Open Day organized by the judiciary at Wakiso High Court grounds. Complaints related to land grabbing and delayed justice dominated these discussions as litigants from different areas provided a platform for court users to directly engage with judicial officers and raise concerns about access to justice.
This session targets improving service delivery and strengthening public confidence in the justice system. During the engagement, litigants raised several concerns including land-related disputes, delayed disposal of cases within the justice system, among others. The Chief Justice, Dr. Flavian Zeja, urged judicial officers to adopt alternative dispute resolution mechanisms as a way of reducing case backlog and promoting timely justice delivery. He applauded the public for turning up in large numbers and encouraged them to continue raising their concerns with the judiciary to improve service delivery.
Ugandan should feel too small to be heard in a court. Listening demands that our judicial officers treat every person with empathy, dignity and utmost neutrality.
The head of the High Court, Sarah Langaso, called upon the public to report corruption cases to relevant authorities.
I just want to assure the public that the Chief Justice brought us here to serve you. And the people of Uganda, you pay us. And we get a salary, and so we don't need a bribe to do our work. So just get that clearly from us that we are not interested in a bribe to do our work.
The area member of Parliament, Zambali Blasio Mukasa, urged judicial officers to work closely with the public in order to fight corruption.
We have been doing some research. Cancer. So because you planted the Chitafed, I pray that that Chitafed becomes the jewel of the cancer to corruption in the judicial system.
Aisha Musanya and Viola Nansuga compiled this report for UBC.
Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area Master Plan Project and partners have convened a supplier conference to strengthen collaboration with suppliers, contractors and consultants in project implementation. The engagement focused on capacity building, knowledge sharing and improving coordination among all stakeholders working on the project.
Organizers urged suppliers and contractors to improve planning and avoid last-minute bid submissions to reduce procurement challenges.
Today, we have had disengagement because, one, we want to transfer knowledge. I said it, you already know. But at times, people wait and do things at the last minute. They see the deadline for the bids to the submission to elapse. That very week is when the contractors and suppliers are running up and down the deadline before it expires. And in the process, you miss it out. Because under the program, there is no reservation scheme. Much as the law has provided at least 30% to local contractors and so on. We have proved your capacity. And some of you are not doing the work as expected, not because you don't have the capacity, but because you put money first.
Officials emphasized the need for compliance with environmental social safeguards, health and safety standards, and proper project management during implementation.
We're looking at the PPDA Act, referred to also as Chapter 205 of the laws of Uganda. Of course, it governs all public procurement and disposal issues in government of Uganda. Specifically, if you look at Section 1, Section 2, 62, subsection 8, all refer to joint ventures. We shall see the applicability when we're looking at the provisions when we bring them later on in the slides.
The conference aimed to improve transparency, efficiency and stronger collaboration between the Greater Kampala Master Plan project partners, suppliers, contractors and consultants nationwide.
Basically, this supplier conference is to build capacity and work together and partner with our suppliers, contractors and consultants. Because one of the core values is partnership and working together, because we know as government, if we are to implement our programs, we need to work with our suppliers, with our consultants, with our contractors. However, we've been noting over time that there has been gaps as we work with them, gaps in EGP implementation, gaps in supplier environmental management when implementing the projects. There have also been gaps in evaluation on matters of environment and construction, what goes on, health and safety and social safeguards as the suppliers and contractors are working.
His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed Lumba has called upon Muslims across Uganda to prepare for the upcoming Eid al-Adha celebrations through prayer, sacrifice and acts of charity. The holy occasion will take place tomorrow. Sheikh Ilumba encouraged believers to offer sacrifices of animals as an act of faith and obedience to Allah. He also urged Muslims to strengthen unity, devotion and support for vulnerable members of the community during the celebrations. At the same event, Sheikh Ilumba appealed to President Yoweri Museveni to consider Muslim representation when appointing leaders in the 2026-2031 government.
Allahu Akbar. Wassalatu wassalamu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Brethren, the Muslim community and the entire community of Uganda, we wish to congratulate you upon reaching this year's Eid al-Adha. May the Almighty Allah, the Merciful, accept our worship The Holy Feast, we implored through the heroic traditions of our beloved grandfather Ibrahim alayhi salam to always consider the following lessons. Worshipping the one and only true God Allah without associating others with Him. Being generous and avoiding selfishness in order to win Allah's favor. Observing sincerity as we worship, contrary to the trends of the hypocrites. Exercising strategic patience as ladder to achieving hard-to-reach goals in human life. The worship should present us as better persons in our overall behavior, and the world around us should therefore feel more secure. That's the lessons we are taught task leaders to play. We are through a political transition season, and we are paying attention to each and every detail. Just of recent, we've shown in our beloved President, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and he will be our President for the next, at least for the next future. We are getting worried that where are we being left because Muslims have not yet surfaced anywhere. And we are hopeful that His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni, as he makes those big appointments that are expected to follow, the Muslim names will appear more vivid and will convince the Muslim public that this is our home and we benefit from these appointments. Jala Jalalu, Nanyini Mate.
The government has launched construction of the Kalidui drainage channel to address persistent flooding, especially during heavy rains in the Kampala metropolitan area. According to leaders, the project marks a major step towards finding a lasting solution to floods that have for years affected Kampala residents.
For many years, Kampala residents have faced severe flooding whenever heavy rains occur, leaving several roads impassable and disrupting businesses and daily activities. The situation has largely been caused by blocked and overflowing drainage channels, including the Kalidui channel, which can no longer effectively carry storm water. As a result, many residents have suffered loss of property, destruction of businesses, and long hours stranded while waiting for floodwaters to subside.
For many years, the people living around this area have faced serious challenges caused by flooding, poor drainage, environmental degradation, and damage to property. And business, wherever heavy rains fall, it gets destroyed.
In response, the government, through the Minister of Works and Transport, Kampala Capital City Authority KCCA, and the Minister of Kampala and Metropolitan Affairs, has launched the construction and expansion of the Kalidui drainage channel. The channel stretches from Nalukolongo through Lubaga and Nyanama in Machinde up to Namasoba at Bata Bata. Residents say they have spent years appealing to government to address the persistent flooding that continues to destroy property and affect livelihoods, though little progress had previously been made despite repeated promises.
Drainage has been a big problem in this constituency. And I want to tell you, people are more than willing, and they've overwaited for this project, and they are tired of floods, and they are willing to cooperate.
The World Bank-funded project is expected to cost 37.8 billion shillings. The drainage channel covers approximately 14.7 kilometers, and the construction of works are expected to take 18 months to complete. The Machinde town clerk explained that the first phase of the project will cover about 3.2 kilometers of the channel.
We are going to pay out 1,170 million for them to undertake the supervision to ensure total safety of our people within the 18 months when this project will be undertaken.
Leaders have urged residents living in areas where the works will be carried out to cooperate with contractors and follow the issued guidelines to ensure smooth and timely completion of the project.
As government fights to see that you do good work, make sure you also clear for us the way.
From today, we bless God. It has come to pass, and I pledge 100% of my support for this project.
Charity Marion Imnat and Mike Bakavlindi, reporting for UBC News.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mumutima kukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, enendungu ya kusabula. Mikono free of fire, free of fire, free of fire.
In a fast-moving world, why are we still stuck with paperwork? Signing here, stamping there, moving from office to office. It's exhausting. Now, there's a better way. With UG Pass, you can securely prove your identity, sign documents, and access government services anytime, anywhere. No delays, no stress. Everything is instant, safe, secure, and government-backed. UG Pass, your identity secured. Available on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. UG Pass is a product of NITA Uganda.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Now, the body of late Timothy Muganzi Magambo, son to the Director, Criminal Investigations Department in the Uganda Police Force, AIGP Tom Magambo, who died last week, has been returned home. The body was later taken to Our Lady of Africa Parish, Mbuya, for a requiem mass.
Following his death last week, the body of Timothy Muganzi Magambo returned to Uganda on the wee hours of Tuesday, 26th May 2026.
He has taken him quickly from the wickedness around him.
And this has been followed by moments of mourning led by a requiem mass held at Our Lady of Africa Church in Mbuya. The late is a son to Uganda's Director of Criminal Investigations Departments in the Uganda Police, AIGP Tom Magambo. The fully packed church attracted attendance of friends, family and well-wishers.
We've got our friend.
So God's ways are not our ways, and while we are there for you as friends, I believe you can only find solace in God.
Top government officials from cabinet, security departments and agencies attended the requiem mass.
It's saddening that his life was cut short at such a tender age, long before he could fully realize the bright future that lay ahead of him.
So Tom, we are here to condole with you and Carol and Jonathan, and we are happy to hear that Timothy's life was actually impactful.
Timothy is my son too, so I wanted to take comfort in all these people who are here today. Some have been mentioned, others have not. You might never know. But behind you, the church is full. The church is full, so take comfort.
The notable ones included the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, the Deputy CDF, Lieutenant General Sam Ogeding, the Deputy Commissioner General Uganda Prisons, Samuel Akena, Deputy IGP James Ochaya, Head of Public Service, Luce Nachovi, and a section of outgoing ministers.
But amidst all that, the deep pain and personal tragedy, he remained on duty, serving the nation.
But I want to thank Tom for being strong, and your dear wife for having understood that it was God's choice that made this to happen.
Thank you, police, for appreciating that each and every member of the free force and their families matter. We thank the Minister of Foreign Affairs and our mission in New York. We thank friends, we thank relatives, we thank colleagues in the entire security fraternity.
They all came to stand together with the Magambo family during these trying moments of such a great loss.
We live or die, we belong to the Lord. So this young man belongs to the Lord. Let's give his life, let's give his good deeds, let's do whatever we can to support Tom at this trying time.
You see the entire government being here to send off an 18-year-old person.
To the family, such moments not only cause for strength but reflection on what exactly life means, especially reflecting on the lives and times of their departed son.
Find ourselves asking each other, is this really our reality? But today, we choose not only to mourn Timothy, we choose to celebrate him for who he was.
AIGP Tom Magambo was flanked by his spouse during this mass.
My older brother, Timothy, was my only sibling, and he left us too soon at the young age of 18 years old. Even though his time was brief, every time I look up nowadays and look towards the sun or I'm going outside on a walk, I remember my brother.
Carol, I don't blame you for Timothy's going. It was his time, and you have done your best, and I thank you.
Although it is a time to reflect on the loss, the Magambo family, however, says all is not lost.
After conversations about life and moments that may have seemed small but meant everything.
Thank you for being with us this afternoon and standing with us in our moment of sorrow.
Timothy Maganzi Magambo will be buried this Thursday in Chisarabwire, Masindi district. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Sad news there, and still with some rather bad and sad news. Uganda Revenue Authority management is mourning the death of their staff, Robert Rumanyika, after the van they were traveling in hit an elephant in Murchison Falls National Park near Karuma Falls in Noya district. During a funeral service at Namirembe Cathedral, Robert Rumanyika was described as a humble, loving and dedicated to serving both family and community. Robert Rumanyika was head of taxation education at Uganda Revenue Authority.
Mourners gathered at St. Paul's Cathedral, Namirembe for a funeral service in honor of late Robert Rumanyika, who headed the taxation education at Uganda Revenue Authority. Family members, friends paid glowing tribute to the deceased.
Maze emyaka 10 emitukuvu mbufumbo n'egyekyeyo 11. Bebaza Mukama ku lw'obulamu bwa Wamala abadde muntu owavayo ekyo mwakimanyi era muntu abadde awo nga always mugamba nti life is to keep in misery nga kitwala ddala kituufu. Bebaza Mukama obulamu bwe abunyumiddwa nga bwina okuba. Abakimanyi bakimanyi. Mu byonna twebaza Katonda.
He always said, nze ndi mu future yange, which urges us to work hard to reach where we are. Shared and house doctors would in that cup. Whether to the hospital, whether it would always make it.
The emotional service was characterized by prayers, hymns and messages of hope as the clergy urged mourners to remain steadfast in faith despite the pain of losing a loved one.
Mukisa abafiira mu Mukama waffe era tumanyi nga tukkiriza nti owooluganda ono Robert Wamala afiiridde mu Kristo. Mukama yeebaza nnyo. Naye abalala tunaafiira mu ani mu nsi muno.
Tearful relatives struggled to hold back emotions as tributes highlighting his kindness, generosity, and strong Christian values were read before the congregation.
Rumanyika abadde musajja muntu w'abantu. Okutandikira ddala gye yasomera, musajja abadde mugezi nnyo, nga bwe mumanyi mu mwaka gwe ogwa senior 6 y'omu ku baasinga mu ggwanga lyonna. Era ne bamuwa options kuba zonna yali qualifying. Bamuwa engineering, ne bamuwa law, ne bamuwa mass comm. N'asalawo n'alondawo mu mass comm olwa passion gye yalina mu buweereza obwo. Ziri endala n'azikola. Gye tugezaako nnyo okumugamba nti lwaki olw'okuba naye yali andaba nnyo ku TV n'ebirala. N'agamba njagala mass comm. So nga akola engineering n'agaana. Naye nga yali mugezi nnyo okubeera mu bantu ba best 3. Yali mu top 3.
The service attracted several mourners from different walks of life who turned up to stand in solidarity with the bereaved family during the difficult moment. Rumanyika died in a fatal accident alongside a colleague, Moses Adola, after their vehicle overturned having hit an elephant in Makshon Falls National Park in Nyoya District. Helen Barbara, Dan Lugewa, reporting for ABC TV News.
The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has pledged to support water, sanitation and advocacy for schools in high-risk districts to combat the spread of Ebola. This was announced by the UNICEF country representative, Dr. Robin Nande, as he unveiled the 5-year program to focus on accelerating access to early childhood services.
The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has announced a 5-year program with key interventions focusing on reducing the vulnerability of children. UNICEF country representative Dr. Robin Nandi says the 5-year program will put emphasis on mobilizing resources to fund activities aimed at accelerating to early childhood services, address teenage pregnancies, malnutrition, and better health care.
All children should have equitable access to services and in the Republic of Uganda, whether they are disabled, whether they are orphans, whether they are refugees, they should all have access to adequate services. This is enshrined in the Conventions of the Rights of the Child, which the Republic of Uganda is signatory to.
If we don't invest in children because it is their right to, or it's our responsibility to make sure that their rights are fulfilled, if we don't do that because of ethical reasons, because we feel it's a good thing to do, there is a reason to do it just for economical reasons and for reasons of development. The future of the Republic of Uganda will depend on how much and how efficient we invest in children and how efficient we make it to ensure that children can fulfill their rights and can fulfill their potential.
At the same time, UNICEF has pledged to support water, sanitation and advocacy, especially in schools during the current Ebola outbreak.
Ebola is transmitted not through the air, but through close contact with the patient. So when a patient is sick and is bleeding or vomiting and you are in contact with the blood or the vomiting, then you are at risk.
According to UNICEF, investing in children is key for developing the country's human capital that translates to economic growth.
The government has intensified efforts to contain the spread of Ebola across the country, with particular focus on institutions of learning as schools strengthen standard operating procedures to protect learners and staff. Among the schools joining the nationwide campaign are Uganda Matters High School Rubaga and Mother Manjeri Primary School to promote awareness, hygiene and safety within the school and communities.
The government of Uganda to control or prevent the Ebola cases and all. To also introduce the workshops which will enable people to know how to control the Ebola cases and how to control that Ebola virus.
Matters is a school which is ever ready, and I think with Ebola, they contacted us parents that they are very, very organized and ready to take precautions about it.
There is an outbreak of Ebola in Uganda and across Africa. But as a school, we have already prepared our school premises with standard operating procedures. And we have already prepared the water points, the sanitizers, and the members in charge of health, the nurses, the doctors we have in school, have already provided us means of controlling the Ebola amongst our students. We want to promise the parents that Ebola in school won't attack anyone, because the school is very much ready for it.
Here in this school, we have a really nice and lovely environment, and our teachers are teaching us well. This school is a holistic school, and what that means, what does holistic mean? It means that they train children, and we have also different clubs. And holistic also, it shapes your child to be someone.
To become a successful person in future, you have to focus on your books, revise harder, so that you can get good grades and leave the name of the school harder.
One thing I observed when I was entering, and I'll appreciate with Mother Manager, I had to wash my hands, I had to sanitize my hands. So healthy, we are good at health.
We are hopeful that we shall complete the term. There is this scourge of Ebola which is worrying everyone. As a school, we have put up every measures as prescribed by the Ministry of Health and Education. We have washing of hands at every spot, right from the gate to the classrooms to every corner of the school. We are providing washing facility to keep that going. We are in games, we are in sports, we are in academics, we are in everything. We have an outstanding clubs program. Our children can now try some few skills of making shoes, of artwork, of soap making, chalk making, mentioned but a few.
God's Blueprint Foundation has donated assorted food items to patients at the Uganda Cancer Institute, Mulago, to improve patient care and support vulnerable communities. The founder, Mercy Haine, called upon well-wishers and financially capable individuals to support people in need and uplift vulnerable cancer patients.
Mercy Haine is a charity worker doing humanitarian work and reaching out to vulnerable and underprivileged communities. She supports the needy and provides basic health needs and essential items to improve livelihoods. Mercy Haine is an American citizen of Liberian origin, whose generosity and compassion began at an early age. Her passion to help others grew after she experienced weight loss, a condition that raised concern among people, including members of her own family.
So, 2024, I got really sick. I got so sick I couldn't walk, and I told myself when I'm able to get back on my feet, I'm going to help, because I'm going to help those, because today you can be here today and tomorrow you can be here. Today you can have money, but tomorrow you may be begging. So God has blessed me, and I'm able to do this, and that's what motivated me to come around the world. I want to see around the world. I want to visit every orphanage there is, every school there is, every hospital there is.
Afterwards, Mercy Haine was inspired to establish God's Blueprint Foundation to address challenges related to malnutrition and feeding within vulnerable communities.
Yeah, so I do have a support system. I have a whole team that supports me. I have my mom, she's back in the USA. I have family members. I have a strong support system. I have a team that supports me and that help me bring me here where I'm at today. I have a whole strong support team. So I was sick 2024. I was bleeding out from my stomach, and I couldn't eat, I couldn't walk, and I got so skinny, and I prayed to God to get better. So once I got on my feet, I said I was going to do His work, because I believe this is God's divine purpose for me.
Since then, the foundation has rendered support to schools, communities and health facilities through outreach and humanitarian initiatives.
Home education is the key. Some say home education is the key to success. Yes. And others say home school education is the key to success. Yes. So in life, you got to balance. So we need both to work together in order to move forward. So we have to be disciplined to become a president. You have to be disciplined. That the discipline comes from the home. That's where the home education comes. You got to be disciplined, right?
She has traveled to Kenya and Tanzania and in Uganda. Mase Haine paid a kata service at Uganda Cancer Institute. Here, she donated assorted food items.
We went to Uganda Cancer Institution. We donated rice, we donated beans, we donated shika, we donated porridge for the people because they needed help. So
Amwai Vanjuko for UBC.
Now take yet another short break and return with the latest in business.
So Muchara.
Yes, Daddy.
You know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. Huh? For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later. Huh?
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get Momo goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165*80# or use the Momo app.
Guidance on the physical attendance of the State of the Nation Address on the 4th of June 2026. Following a statement from the Ministry of Health on the outbreak of Ebola and guidance on the standard operating procedures to be followed, Parliament of Uganda has adopted the following precautionary measures regarding physical attendance of the sitting at which His Excellency the President will present the State of the Nation Address on the 4th of June 2026 at the Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. Only members of the 12th Parliament and select officials of Parliament will attend the function. All guests earlier invited are advised not to attend physically, as Parliament has made arrangements for virtual attendance of the proceedings. All Parliament social media platforms and the national broadcaster will air the State of the Nation Address live for the general public.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at business news. The State House has intensified efforts to promote fish farming in Busoga sub-region, with 60 model farmers sent to Kenya for a benchmark study on modern aquaculture and livestock farming practices. The initiative is part of President Museveni's campaign for alternative sources of income.
okwebibali oba kumbali okwemiga oba okwenanda era ntukiweene kiri kukola bulungi ate okulunda ebyenanda kuno kwidda kutuyamba ino okuva mu bwavu ng'abasoga.
Abantu abali mu bibali tubikozese bulungi okwaya ebyenanda. Abantu abali mu bibali tubikozese bulungi okusobola okubona nti amaadhi agalimu tugakozesa okugaleeta ku mutala, twasimayo fish ponds oba ebidiba eby'ebyenanda oba twasimayo twatayo water pumps nga tugasika amaadi ago gaida gayuwirira ebirime byaife. N'olwekyo tuli kubasaba nti abantu abatambwire ku nimuyidde eno mujje mube ba ambassadors mu byalo byaimwe.
Ne batuyigiriza nti wotandikira mu butuufu eno section efulumya amazzi ebeere nga ate efulumiza wansi so si waggulu. Ekyo tukiyize nti mu kulunda gezaako nnyo okulunda ng'otagetinga bizinesi. Ebyo bijja kukula mangu ate ojja sobola okutunda ofune ku kasente.
A team of influential European media personalities is in Uganda for a cultural and culinary expedition to market the country to potential travelers across Europe. The team leader talked to UBC's Eddie Olwa.
From the moment they touched down at Entebbe International Airport, the European visitors began a journey into Uganda's rich culinary and cultural identity. They have visited shores of Coco Beach where they sampled fresh fish delicacies. In Kampala city they had an authentic Uganda food experience. At Wandegea Market, they had the Uganda Rolex experience and traditional chicken roasting sessions with the local vendors.
The business will be worldwide. Everybody will know that Wandegea has the best chicken.
They later boarded the ferry at Nakasongola Ferry into Lango sub-region. In Amulata district, they visited Uganda's national altar, which hosts 56 pillars representing Uganda's tribes and serves as a national prayer ground where communities converge every September to pray for peace.
So this altar could not have been raised anywhere else. It had to be at the center.
The guests interacted with the residents in preparing local Luo dishes under the guidance of Ambassador Doreen Ruth Amule.
This is a special meal for special guests. For us, we're still very organic and authentic. We eat meat as meat. We eat fish as fish. But in Europe, they will tell you this is fish, but you'll only get the smell and you're not. So when they come here and they see us eating the organic, authentic, and fresh foods, it's something amazing. So this is a culture that we must preserve. So for us, we are not only doing this for the Bazungus to see, we're also doing it for our local people to know, don't run away from your food.
Convince Kabalega.
The influencers also visited the historic heritage site at Kangai in Toholo district, where Mukama Kabalega, former king of Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom, and Kabaka Mwangar of Buganda were captured during the encounter with the Kano Heverts before they were captured in April 1899. Government is currently developing a memorial center at the site. In Lira City, the team toured local markets shopping for fresh ingredients to prepare their own local meals.
To think about Uganda, there is one thing that is very known is the gorillas, of course. But what we want to show is that there is diversity. We want to show more about the gastronomy, about the food, about the ingredients, about the fruits, the vegetables, everything that you can have here.
Uganda's tourism sector has registered recovery, with the tourism earnings rising to $1.7 billion in 2025 and international arrivals reaching an estimated 1.6 million visitors. Eddie Olwa, UBC News.
Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda and Capital Markets Authority, together with Uganda Securities Exchange and Vision Group, have officially launched the 16th edition of the Financial Reporting Awards to promote transparency and excellence in corporate reporting. The launch was on the theme Driving Sustainability Reporting Through Technology and Innovation.
Really a reflection of the changes in the times that we have
seen over the years. We've seen developments around technology, we've seen developments around the ESG sustainability, where we're not focusing on just profits alone. We are now required as accountants to be custodians of sustainability, to see that we support the sustainability agenda from building from our own strength, and that is financial reporting, so that we can also report on the other aspects and see ways how we can support businesses to scale up, but also to enhance their governance structure.
Uganda, as our country, we have an ambitious target to transform our economy from 50 billion thereabouts US dollars to $500 billion. That's half a trillion. And how are we going to do that? It's through the ATMs that the government has filled out for us: agriculture, tourism, manufacturing, and science and technology. So key to these are science and technology, which is in our theme.
It's a flagship aspect of the Institute. It interacts with the community, but as we are aware, Institute is the fountain of accounting in the country. So it is the only way we can assess whether companies continue to follow and to comply with these upcoming standards, let alone the existing ones. But there is a benefit to participating in these FIRE awards. For example, Ministry works with the Capital Markets Authority. One of the key documents they need, especially for corporates, are audited financial statements. Not just for 1 year, but for the last 3 or 4 years or so. They need your story. They need your mission. What is it that you're doing? So if you participate in FIRE awards, you get the feedback that helps you to enhance your annual report. Such that then when you want to raise capital, everybody will look at your report and say, I want to be associated with this company. I'm going to invest in this company. Therefore, the two partners here, Capital Markets Authority and Securities Exchange, become very easy for you because your financials meet the global or international standards.
Sports news now, and Uganda's under-17 women's football, the Teen Cranes, has intensified training ahead of the FIFA under-17 Women's World Cup game against Kenya this Saturday at the Nyayo Stadium in Nairobi. The two teams settled for a 1-1 draw in the first leg at the Kadiba Stadium last Friday.
We are done with our session training for today, and we are all in good shape. I promise Ugandans that when I'm given an opportunity in Kenya, I promise that I'll do my best to bring a better results.
I am happy to be part of the team. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the fans that came at Kadiba on Friday. We thank you for your full support and everything that you did on that day. We hope for better results.
And lastly, Federation of Uganda Football Association's FUFA President, Engineer Moses Magogo, has dismissed resignation claims that he says are propagated by enemies of the sport. Magogo was at the under-17 male football team dinner to honor the team for back-to-back World Cup qualifications at Sheraton Hotel here in Kampala.
Very proud. I want to thank everybody who has made it here. I'm told I've not thanked the forces, the media. Thank you so much. We are very proud of the work you're doing. Nobody has called me for any meeting to resign. So be calm. We have football to develop. We have work to do. And we are going to make sure that we prepare this team for the World Cup in the best of abilities. Owen, as the team captain and the coaches,
FUFA President Engineer Moses Magogo ending that story there. And that brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it's been Senyamo Yusuf and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night.